Okay, great. Thank you all for being here. We'll call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, the 8th day of September, 2015, and this is the regular meeting of the Board of Weber County Commissioners, held at 10 a.m. this morning. We hope and trust that you all enjoyed yourself and your a little bit longer weekend with the Labor Day holiday yesterday, and my hope is that you had the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with family and friends as well. It's a great opportunity to ponder on some important things and hopefully spend some good time. I will tell you, I ate too much, and I'm feeling it this morning, so I apologize. But it was a great evening. We had a nice meal with everything from the farm, from the beef to the corn to the homemade ice cream, and it was awesome. Are you jealous yet?
I had breakfast at Karen's. I thought they did a fabulous job.
They do, but dinner was great too. All right. We appreciate you all being here and appreciate the commissioners being here as well today. We will begin with our invocation, which will be offered by Commissioner Ebert, our Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Devron Anderson, our county surveyor, and our thought of the day by Commissioner Bell. Commissioner Ebert.
Our kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we gather today in this commission meeting to express our appreciation for this great country we live in and for the rights and freedoms that we have gained through the sacrifice of our forefathers. We ask that we will appreciate the sacrifices that have been made. As we gather today, Heavenly Father, we prepare to make decisions that will affect our community as a whole, and we ask that your Spirit will visit us and that we'll make decisions that will be in the best interest. We'll make correct decisions, and that we will move forward with diligence to perform the needs of this community. We are indeed grateful for all the blessings. We recognize your hand in all things and say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Would all please rise and repeat after me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is one from, I was taught that the way of progress is neither swift nor easy. Simple and easy.
Who did you say it was from?
It was from Marie Curie. She's a Polish-French physicist. She lived from 1867 to 1934, and she's a two-time Nobel Prize winner.
Cool. Definitely some work involved, isn't there?
Yes.
And some time commitment. Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate that. Okay, next on our agenda is a resolution that we've been passing over the last few years that has become more and more valuable and important, I think, over time as there's more awareness being brought to this issue. Designating September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. I'd like to read to you the proclamation that we passed, that we're hoping to pass today. Every year, thousands of children are diagnosed with cancer, an often life-threatening illness that remains the leading cause of death by disease for children under the age of 15. The causes of pediatric cancer are still largely unknown, and though new discoveries are resulting in new treatments, this heartbreaking disease continues to scar children and their families. This month, we remember the young lives taken too soon. We stand with the families facing childhood cancer today and rededicate ourselves to combating this terrible illness. While much remains to be done, we have come far in the fight to understand, treat, and control childhood cancer. Thanks to ongoing advances in research and treatment, the 5-year survival rate for all childhood cancers has climbed from less than 50% to 80% over the past several decades. Research around the world continue to pioneer new therapies and explore the root cause of the disease, driving progress that could reveal cures or improved outcomes for patients. But despite the gains that we have made, help still does not come as soon enough for many of our children and too many families. Devastating loss. This month, we pay tribute to the families, friends, professionals, and communities who lend their strength to children fighting pediatric cancer. May their courage and commitment continue to move us toward new cures, healthier outcomes, and a brighter future for all children. Now, therefore, we, the Weber County Commission, do hereby proclaim September 2015 as the National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Signed, Commissioner Gibson, Commissioner Bell, and Commissioner Ebert. So I'm assuming, Commissioners, if it's okay with you, since you've all signed this proclamation, we won't take a vote on it. It's not listed as an action item, but it's something that we have all reviewed individually and put our pen to paper on, and we, as we have studied it, and as I said before, as we noticed throughout the past few years as we've been discussing this, I think having this proclamation come before us has helped in bringing awareness to the challenges that these young people are facing as they're diagnosed with cancer. And frankly, I think it's obvious and clear that in this day and age, it feels like every one of us has someone that we can relate to very, very closely that has been touched by this terrible disease. And so as we watch and see the difficulties that are happening in these families as this is dealt with, it's wise for us to be understanding and to try and bring awareness and bring some awareness to to opportunities to work on the cures and the treatments that are so important for this terrible disease. So I am grateful for the opportunity to read this proclamation and to have it as part of our commission meeting, and commissioners, I know that you are as well. Is there anything else you would like to add on this subject while it's before us?
It's a good thing.
Thank you. Okay. Appreciate that. We'll consider today Childhood Cancer Awareness, or excuse me, this month, the month of September, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you, Commissioners. Okay, we'll move now to our items of business. First is our consent items. Item number 1 is a request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $179,397.73. And the request for approval of warrants number 324716 through 324913 in the amount of $1,747,623.27. Any questions on the consent items? If not, Mr. Hatch, any brief update you'd like to provide us with?
You bet. Of the 22 purchase orders totaling $179,000, 73% related to library construction, primarily computer equipment. That's $132,000. 16% was also for computer equipment. The IT department purchased some drives that equated to $28,000. As far as checks go, there were 198 checks for a total of $1.7 million. 48%, just about half of that, or $842,000, was related to library construction. 16%, or $279,000, went to corridor preservation. That was primarily the 5100 West project, but there was some 12th Street transactions in there as well. And then 6%, or $98,000, was escrow releases, 2 escrow releases, one for Summit and one for the Eden Center.
The 5100 West project, that's the Hooper project.
Yes.
So that's one of those that's appropriated through the Council of Governments.
That's right, and that was about $250,000 of the 279 went to that project.
Okay, any other questions?
I don't necessarily have a question, but Commissioner Bell and myself were attending a active transportation coalition meeting earlier this morning, and the mayor of Oklahoma City was presenting. And it was interesting as he gave a history of Oklahoma City. He talked about the importance of community development in regards to your economic development, and how the model used to be you provide the environment, businesses will come and people will follow, and communities will grow. And he said that that was the model they were working under, and they realized that didn't work. The model nowadays is build a community, make the community livable, and businesses and people will come. It was really an interesting model transition as he talked through how Oklahoma City realized that and how they became, the powerhouse that they are nowadays. He also talked about how they lost businesses because of it, and specifically talked about things such as active transportation and the building of libraries as part of that. So if anybody hasn't noticed, we're building libraries.
Yes, we are.
And we are building infrastructure and roads and walkable communities, and we're actively involved in helping our cities and municipalities understand the importance of that community development and how it affects our economic development. So as we read through a lot of these warrants and POs and where we're expensing money, I think that you'll see that we're actively participating in building a stronger community.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. I think it's really interesting to hear that discussion on that and this morning, and they talk about trying to bring $1 billion contract in their community, and it didn't happen. And they finally said, why did you guys not want to come and do business here? And they said, well, we sent some of our top executives and their families to your town for 3 or 4 days, and they found that people didn't really want to live there. And so we went back and went to the drawing board and said, okay, we got to make our place livable. Went through a list of things they were doing, exact things that we're doing in Weber County right now. And so it was kind of good to hear that, James and I, as we sat there listening to this. Mayor this morning, he's been the mayor for, I think, 16 years. And this is what we're doing in Weber County and in Ogden and in our cities, that we want the folks to come here. So people are going to want to live here. So since people want to live here, that means jobs have to come here. When jobs come here, that's going to be a great way of life for the folks. So anyway, it was a really good, he was a great speaker this morning, wasn't he? He did a great job.
Great job.
It was
Yeah.
very, very good. So
It was nice to hear that we are on the right track.
yes.
And we'll continue to evaluate it. I think the word that Commissioner Gibson uses a lot is prosperity. I wanted to say it before he did because I knew it was going to come out. But creating prosperity and how you do that and how you create a business model to do that. And that's what we're focused on. And it was good to hear that the things that they had identified are things that we are working on. So
Yes. Thank you.
And I heard that the mayor of Oklahoma City was kind of thinking that he didn't want to go home. Is that true? His speech and stay here for a while.
It's a good place to live.
I'm sure it's great back there, but can't be any better than right here. So we're glad that he's here. Hope that he learns a few things from us that he can take back to his community as well as we learn from him. That's part of what this is all about, is learning back and forth from each other. So we appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that, Commissioner. Any other questions or comments on the consent items?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent items as read.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. The consent items are approved. To our action items. Our action items, our first one is item number 1, request for approval of a second reading of the proposed change to the fee ordinance. This change will allow the clerk auditor's office to charge a fee to receive the payment from passport applications and create checks to be sent with passport applications. And Lynn, we appreciate you coming and presenting this again. We had the first reading on this, Commissioners, as you'll remember, last week, and passed it on to this particular meeting for final approval. This, as you remember, is designed to give our customers a little bit of additional opportunity. Right now, the check has to be made out to the passport agency, correct? And
No, it has to be a check is the
has to
problem.
be a check, but it's actually made out to, is it made out to Weber County?
No,
and
it's
then
made out to the U.S. Department of State and is stapled to the passport application and mailed to the Department of State in
Well, this is so
payment.
people can use a credit card.
Right, and we can collect the money and then
Make
we
a check.
generate a check on our letterhead, basically.
Correct. This is essentially, in talking to other counties, this is another first in the state innovation. We're looking for ways to make life easier for folks who show up with their passport applications and don't have everything together. There's several things that have to come together, and if somebody shows up with their pictures and their check and everything else all ready to go, it's a pretty quick and painless process, but there are so many things, sometimes people don't realize everything on the list. So they show up missing something. And that's one of the things they'd sometimes show up missing is a check or a money order made out to the U.S. Department of State. So we have to send them away to go and do that. And this is a way for somebody who they either don't have, some people don't have a checking account, or they want to pay in cash or something. This is a way that we can help them on the spot without sending them away to go get that step completed, if they haven't done that before they arrived.
Sounds great. What was that ordinance number going to be on that?
16.
I'll make a motion we accept ordinance number 16. And I appreciate you guys moving forward on this and helping our customers out, because too often in government agencies, we don't help the customer the very best we can. And I appreciate our staff in our office that we do that. And so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second then before us. I agree. I think this made sense last week when you presented it. It makes sense now, and we appreciate that first in the state innovation mentality that you have, that I think we're seeing throughout the county, but this is one of those great examples coming from the clerk auditor's office. So we appreciate both of you and hope that you will take that back to your staff and tell them thank you for their efforts on this type of thing. It makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do have that motion and second before us. Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Commissioners, Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner Ebert,
Aye.
Chair Gibson.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Item number 2 is a request for approval of change order number 1 on a contract by and between Weber County and Granite Construction for the additional 24-inch RCP storm drain pipe on the 3500 West reconstruction project. And Jared Anderson, our county engineer, is here with us today. Jared, before you start with that, I want to tell you thank you for a compliment that was received in our office from your department and others. I'll just quickly tell you what happened, but we had an individual that was walking around in the building looking lost, I think is the answer, and someone, I believe it was from HR, noticed this and asked the individual where they would like, what they were looking for, what they were trying to do. This individual said that they were looking for the planning and engineering department. They were escorted to that office and afterwards made a point to come up to Human Resources and tell them that their experience at the county offices had been very pleasurable, that when it was obvious that they had felt lost or looked lost, that someone helped and helped them find what they needed to find, and that then when they got down to the engineering office, they spoke with an individual by the name of Chad. So I hope you'll pass that along to Chad, who left a meeting that he was in to specifically come and take care of his needs, and this individual was just very grateful and wanted to make sure that everyone knew that he was happy with his interaction with his county government that day. And so we hope that you'll pass that around, Jared, to your staff, and I hope that it gets around. Too often we don't hear the positive, but I will tell you this, it is one of those areas that as a commission we have been working very hard on to make sure that all of our employees understand that the taxpayers are our customers, that we need to do all that we can to improve the level of customer service that every individual who comes into this office needs to be treated with the utmost respect and professionalism, and I think we're making good progress, but this is an example of that, of an individual who really felt like he was well taken care of. So Jared, I hope that you'll pass that on and pass that throughout the organization as well.
Will do.
that?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on to your item that I just read. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I'll let him know,
Thank
and I
you.
appreciate that.
was good.
This is a change order for our project that's currently under construction on 3500 West. We had some 24-inch RCP that we had thought was in decent condition. Once we got out there and started digging things up and realizing that it was not in good condition at all, we made the decision to replace that. So unless you have any other questions on that, it's just a change order for that project.
No, I think that the important thing is that we found a pipe that wasn't in the best shape underneath a brand new road we're putting in. because we all know that if we didn't change it, the minute the new road got put in, somebody would be digging it up, wanting to change it. So I appreciate you getting ahead on this, especially with storm drains, and that's a big deal in the county. And I appreciate you getting forward on this, getting it done right, because that's more irritating than anything. We put brand new roads in, and next thing you know, somebody's got a backhoe in it digging it up. And so I really appreciate you being ahead on this and doing that, so that's a great thing. So I'll make a motion to accept. Hold
So
on.
Jared, sorry,
Yes.
forgive my ignorance. What is RCP?
Reinforced concrete pipe.
And I noticed that it went from 24 to 18.
Eight.
Did they downsize that pipe, or did I read that wrong?
They might have upsized it. It's additional 24 inch,
It went
so
from 18 to 24.
18 to 24.
Okay. You sure?
And no, I'm not 100% sure, but we
It
can go
says
out in the
to
field.
remove the
and
existing 24-inch RCP and install the 18-inch RCP according to the plans. I was just wondering if there was a flow rate or something that's why they did it. I was just a
So
general
whatever
question.
that might be a typo also, but whatever they put out in the field, yeah, they've got to check and make sure the
okay.
flows are right and then we
Okay,
have the
I
right
was just-
sizes. So,
I was just.
but I'll check. No, I appreciate that. I'll check on
I
that.
wasn't sure. I was
I'll
not
check
trying
on
to
it.
find a problem. I was just wondering. I guess I should have asked you before. So thank you.
We'll check on it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Commissioner Bell?
No. So yeah, that's a good question, because when I read in there, I thought it was 24 to 24, but now I think there could be a typo in that, so you might want to check.
Contract 341.
I'll make a motion to accept contract 341, change order number 1 on a contract line between Weber County and Granite Construction for an additional 24-inch RCP storm drain pipe on 3500 West reconstruction project.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second then to approve and adopt contract number 341. Is there any discussion to that motion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It passes. Thank you. And Jared, you're next as well with the request for approval of right-of-way contract by and between Weber County and Scott Day for the 3500 West Extension Project, parcel number 124C at 1464 South, 3500 West in Ogden.
Another one that's been on for now about 8 weeks, I believe, right around there. But as you can see, we're really getting down to those minimal left of the contracts we need to get approved. So this is one of them on 3500 West.
Great. Thank you for your continued efforts on that. Commissioners, motion?
I'll make a motion to accept contract number
342.
342, right-of-way contract between Weber County and Scotty Day, 3500 West Extension Project, parcel number 124C at 1464 South, 3500 West, Ogden, Utah.
Second.
Okay, discussion to the motion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Jared. The
Thank
motion
you.
passes. Item number 4
Thank you, Jared.
is the request for approval of a resolution of the county commissioners appointing members to the Liberty Cemetery Board. Brooke, good to see you this morning.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good to see you as well. This morning, I'm bringing before you 5 vacancies on the Liberty Cemetery Maintenance District. All 5 members' terms have expired, and so we're going to stagger those 5
Can you
terms.
use the word expired when you're talking about Liberty Board members?
You know, I've been told that I probably shouldn't, but I can't
Yeah.
think of a better word.
Interesting. just a
Ended.
thought.
Their terms have ended. We're going to do 3 of the terms at 4 years, and then the other 2 at 2-year terms, just to stagger them so that the board members' expiration dates are coming up at separate times. We received 5 applications for the 5 vacancies that were published in notice accordance to the state statute. And out of those 5, 4 of those individuals are reapplying to be on the board, and then the 5th individual is a new applicant. And I forwarded you all their packets with their information.
Which one was the new applicant?
It's James Hadlock.
And who was the chair at the time?
The chair is Ronnie Chambers.
Well, it looks like unless we want to pull out of thin air, we have our 5 individuals, so the question is, which ones would be for the longer term, for the, what did you say, 4-year term?
4-year for 3 of them, And then 2 year for the other two.
Two-year terms. Any suggestions on that, commissioners?
I just say we take the top 3 on the list, give them 4-year terms. The next 2 on the list, the bottom 2, give them 2-year terms, and then let them. Then we'll be back in a rotation. So
Can
I
I just suggest that number 5 be given a 4-year term because he would be a new member?
okay.
Would that
No.
make sense? Give him? So maybe we go-
However you want to. I don't have any druthers.
That would be my only thought. So Mr. Chambers as the chair would get 4 years. Dixon 4 years, Bailey 2 years, Hilburn 2 years, and Hadlock 4
Perfect.
years. Does that sound?
Thank you, Brooke, for doing this. We have lots of boards that we take care of. I'm sure there's 25 or even 30 of them, and it's every time we turn around, we find new ones and things we need to be up to date on. And so I appreciate what you're doing on these boards, getting them all in shape. And thank
Well,
you.
one of the challenges we have here, as you mentioned, Brooke, that this, all the members of this board have not expired, but their terms have expired.
Right.
And,
Terms ended.
and the problem is that we don't, that's not our duty. It's their duty to come to us and say, we would like to have this action taken, and then we do it. And in this particular case, that hasn't happened for a while, right?
Right.
So, you know, it's unfortunate at times, but we take the action that we are asked to take. And frankly, they have 2 options: to come here and be appointed, or to have to go on the ballot basically and have an election.
Right.
And most choose to come here because elections are expensive, but we still can't do it without their authorization. And so there are times when it seems like it's been too long, and it probably has. So we encourage all of these districts to get here with their recommendations in a timely manner, and we'll go ahead and get them approved as of today.
Do you have a resolution number?
37.
Matthew, may I make this resolution?
Absolutely.
I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 37, is that correct?
Yes.
Which is a resolution appointing Liberty Cemetery District members, Ronnie Chambers to a 4-year term, Tim Dixon to a 2-year term, Tessa Bailey to a 2-year term, Jennifer Hilburn to a 4-year term, and James Hadlock to a 4-year term.
I second it.
Motion and second then, as read. Is there any discussion to that motion? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Ebert.
Aye.
Chair Gibson.
Aye. It passes. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you.
Appreciate your effort on that. It really does take a lot of time to get these things posted and noticed and out the door, so thanks for all you do there. All right, next on our agenda is public comment. Is there any from the public who would like to comment today? If so, come to the microphone, state your name for the record. Okay, I see none. Next, we will have our assignment of the Pledge of Allegiance and Thought of the Day for Tuesday, September 15th, 2015 at 10 a.m. on the pledge. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Commissioner Bell would like to volunteer Sylvia Anderson for the Pledge of Allegiance if she'll be here. Will you, Sylvia?
Me?
Yeah, would,
Yeah.
maybe?
Mhm.
If you have any trouble being here, call and we'll get someone else. So, okay, thank you. Thought of the day, I believe, would be Commissioner Ebert. Is that correct?
That's the rotation clockwise.
Okay, perfect. I like it. They just need some validation sometimes to make sure it's going correct.
Yep.
All right.
Clockwise. That's how clocks go. But I don't know how clocks go on farms.
Okay. And to our next item on the agenda, I need a motion for a closed session to discuss strategy relating to pending or imminent litigation and strategy relating to the sale or purchase of real property.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion?
It's a roll call.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Ebert.
Aye.
Chair Gibson.
Aye. The motion passes. We are in closed session. We'll come back here after our closed session is over and close our meeting. Thank you for being here, all of you.
Sylvia.
Oh, did I say? was confused too. I was looking around for a building. I didn't know.
I've known you for 100 years.
I served with a representative.